Hi folks, thank you so much for downloading this episode of a work in progress D&D podcast, a creative experiment of sorts. I'd like to mention that this podcast is not for children. Now, why don't we jump into this adventure? Hi folks, welcome to this, the sixth episode of a work in progress D&D podcast. We had a little bit of technical difficulties prior to us actually recording right now, but as always, we will go to the firstborn of our family.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm playing Alex Arcadis. Excuse me. Now I'm mumbling. I'm an artificer armor human.
Yes, good start. All right, and to the thirdborn.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Pine Deciduery, the Paladin Oath of the Ancients tiefling, and it's my birthday.
It is his birthday on this day that we are recording. Ryan has turned another year older. Bless you.
And it's choking.
Yes.
And me, the secondborn. I am Eric. I am the GM, the DM, all the other characters in this world that has come from my brain juice. And
Please don't call it that.
What, brain juice?
It's just weird.
It is weird. That's why I'm using it. All right. Well, without any further ado, why don't we jump onto this adventure? Let's go! So, last time on our podcast, this adventure, our characters finally made their way to Greenfields, also known as the Green Duchy, here in the Kingdom of the Rainbow Coast. And this place is essentially the agricultural epicenter of the whole coast, where a large majority of the produce and sort of food distributed amongst everyone who lives here on the coast is made here. All sorts of vendors are generally out doing any sort of like a farmer's market on any given day. All sorts of other various places. They stopped off at the Mossy Rook, which is the local inn, and also a part of the inns that encompass the Scales of Service, which is the sort of service sect of the House of Bahamut. The Scales of Community. Yeah, I think that's what I said.
Yes.
They went to the library, which is known as the Pine Cone. They also went and sold some of the treasure that they had acquired from the Boggle they had sort of, somewhat you could say, befriended, who was pretending to be a troll on the bridge. They had some other interesting characters, and eventually made their way to the Pickled Knight, a local tavern, popular place, where they had their actual first encounter with one of the knights of this duchy, a Syr Edmund Brightblade. Excuse me. Talk about a pickled knight. Where they, without so much of even a second thought, revealed the ring that has the heraldry of the Green Duchy, where they then discovered that the last time that Edmund last saw this ring was when the Duke's son, along with his wife and his last time this ring was saw when the Duke's son was murdered by bandits on the road with his wife and their child. And so, as of this moment, the Duke has no living heirs. That was until Edmund was revealed to him by our compatriots that the young Siegfried is the grandson of the Green Duke. Upon learning this information, Edmund promptly fainted. And so we find ourselves in an alleyway next to the Pickled Knight Tavern with a tiefling, a human, a horse, and a fainted human night in the alleyway, roughly towards the middle evening of the day. Pine still chewing on a nice pie, pie in his hand.
Finishing off the last bits, dusting off the crumbs off of my breastplate.
The loud clang as Syr Edmund Brightblade just crashes down at the stone floor with his horse Juniper just kind of like going down and like kind of nibbling at his hair, trying to wake him up a bit. So with that, what do you two do as you are standing out here in this alleyway with a comatose knight and his horse?
Well, I was trying to like grab him before he fainted, and I failed. Not our roll, just failed in general. I'm gonna like pick him up and try to lean him against like the tavern wall.
Okay.
And then like maybe like smack his cheeks like, come on, wake up.
Yeah. You lean him up again. You pick him up. You lean him up against the wall and just like holding him up there, just kind of give him a little slap on the face. Like, oh my gosh, where am I? Oh, that's right. I fainted.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
It's after we told you that we knew where the Duke's grandson was.
I'm gonna hold on to his shoulders. No, stop.
As he starts to like lean back a little bit again from this reintegration of information. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes. The Duke's grandson is alive.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm just gonna speak slowly, so you can process this.
The four of us, sorry, Juniper, the four of us need to find a place where the three of us could speak in private. I'm sorry, Juniper, but most places will not let a horse inside their establishment, but I have my utmost trust in you that you will not reveal the information that I will be sharing with them. Good girl. Okay. So, there's some things I have to get together, but can I meet you two at the third room in the Mossy Rook later this evening?
Sure.
Sounds fine for me.
Wonderful. And tell no one else about the ring and the boy, or generally anything to do with your relation to this now. Understood?
Say nothing. Got it.
Good. You both have a knight's honor. I shall see you momentarily. We'll meet up in 2 hours. And he very wobbly gets back up onto Juniper and is like, all right, Juniper, off we go. We have things to prepare. Yeah! And he clump, coconut noises as he gallops away. So, what would you guys like to do in the last 2 hours or so? Prior to...
Oh, I still gotta get my pie.
Oh, yeah. So
probably go back and actually eat our dinner, even though I've already eaten.
Right. Well,
I was not going to have a hysterical man take me away from my food.
Yes. All right, then I guess just for the sake of brevity, you guys just go back in, have your meal, and then just go meet up with Syr Edmund.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, real quick. In this transition right here, I want to do a little bit of what's the words I'm looking for? I have to redo something that I said last time.
Okay.
Because I came up with a better idea. So,
okay.
Because it's a work in progress, we're just gonna put it on right now.
Okay.
So in regards to the one symbol of the goddess Ioun.
Oh, the goddess.
Yes.
Okay.
The one that's like the blue Triforce with the eyes.
Yes.
Right.
I've decided the top triangle doesn't represent compassion and how not to use knowledge and magic for evil, but it's actually like it represents stories. which I think works a little bit better in terms of like 3 aspects of Ioun. And then the center one is still the unknown. But then all of those together making one big triangle is like a representation of understanding and like using stories and knowledge and even magic and even like not being afraid of the unknown to create sort of an understanding of the world around you. So that is better.
Okay.
To me.
Okay.
So.
What were the other 2 triangles?
So magic is the top one. The 2 lower ones, the left one is magic, the right one is knowledge, and then the center one is the unknown, and then the whole triangle together, like the big triangle that makes up the Triforce, is understanding.
Okay.
Or the understanding that all 4 of these things represent. Okay. Just wanted to make that clarification because I thought about that and I thought it worked better than what I had before. So, you eventually make your way back to the Mossy Rook Inn. And you see, what's their name? Grant,
let's see.
the Earth Genasi there. And you kind of look out. There's like a little, it's not so much like a tavern area, but it's sort of like a, the main floor area has a sort of like lounge area, sort of meeting area. There's like a little fire section. Like you can get some food here, like just meager fare, something like kind of maybe if you're hungry, or for anyone who is down on their luck can easily get a meal here for, free if not cheap. Make a perception check for me if you would.
All right. For once, I'm going to try one of my other dice.
Yes.
And
What'd you get?
Guess.
Did
Yes.
you get a
one?
20?
Yes.
Wait,
Wait, what did you get?
a 1 or a 20?
I got a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
And I got an unnatural 20.
Perfect. Wonderful.
We're so perceptive.
Okay. So, as you 2 enter the area, you are looking around and just seeing like kind of all the sorts of different people that are down here in this sort of lounge gathering, sort of small dining area, and the fire. And you're kind of looking through and you see various people, just some eating a little bit or drinking a little bit, or some conversing, some just trying to get warm by the fire. When both of you notice, like in the far back corner, sort of the shadiest corner of this lounge area, an individual cloaked in a hood, dark, a big dark hooded cloak, just kind of leaning in the back, seems to be just watching everyone, particularly watching you 2. And you do notice, even though this cloak is able to hide most of them,
Is there shining armor? Is there shining armor?
It's not able to
underneath it?
completely hide the like shiny armored greaves that are like, mating their boots. So you can only imagine who this hooded individual might be here, 2 hours prior to when you were supposed to meet a certain individual in a room at this building.
I just lean over to Pines like, you think
Yes,
that's their guy?
Yes, let's just meet him in the room.
Let me see. He needs to learn the word inconspicuous.
I don't think he knows what that means.
Well, I'll teach him.
We're better off just not trying.
Okay. So you head off.
I'm just go.
Mhm.
Walk towards the guy. So I'm just gonna, and once we get to him, I'm just gonna say, I assume you're the guy we're supposed to meet. I want to take a guess. He doesn't want to know. He's,
So you're just walking directly up
Wait,
to...
you were walking up to him? I thought we were just walking to the room.
Oh, right, to the room. My bad. No, that's right. I forgot. My
It's
bad.
okay. It's all good.
I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, why are...
Okay, so you
Yeah,
head
so-
up to room 3.
the third room on third... Is that what he said?
Yes, he's...
Yeah, 3rd floor.
Yeah, the third room. I don't think I said a floor. We'll say
I don't think so either.
we'll say third room on the 3rd floor. It's big enough to where it can do that. They need lots of room here. So with also the fact that you guys both got, like, Alex with your natural 20 and with Pine your unnatural 20, just having a 20 in general, as you guys start walking up the stairs, you both notice this hooded individual following you at, like, a relatively decent distance behind you, but not so far back that you guys wouldn't be able to know that the two of you wouldn't be able to recognize that he is definitely following you. So do with that information what you will, especially because you can, while it's somewhat muddled, hear the clanking of armor. So anything else you guys would like to do prior to reaching the third room on the third floor? Or room 3 on the third floor, however I said it.
Oh boy. I'm Pine's good.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk up.
Okay. So you guys eventually reach the third room on the third floor. You can kind of see that this hooded individual is kind of not quite reaching up the top, but you can kind of see their hooded head poking over a couple of the steps, like just above the floor, to actually keep an eye on you, but you know he's there.
Right.
So do you guys walk into the room?
Just giving a bit of a show, I do like a series of knocks as if it's some kind of code that we were told.
Okay. All right. You do a series of knocks. You wait a couple minutes. Nothing seems to happen.
I just kind of like take a glance and look over what's Edmund doing.
The hooded individual is just kind of still staring and waiting. Doesn't seem to have moved at all, but is just kind of standing there on the sort of stairwell, slightly not enough out of eyesight.
All right, I'm just gonna grab the doorknob and open it, but still like be a little bit cautious.
Sure. Can you roll a d20 for me?
D20. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do I add anything?
Nope.
Okay, just 8.
You go to unlock the door, or you go to open the door, and it is locked.
Okay then.
So you kind of jiggle the handle a bit, and you realize the door is locked. That's when both of you hear a, "Oh shit!" And you just see this cloaked individual just kind of slowly but like walking with purpose towards the door and says, "Excuse me." Takes out a key, unlocks the door, and says, "Pardon me," and then walks back down the stairs to like the position before. And you hear a close one.
I'm gonna try to open the door.
I'm just gonna look at Alex and be like, "I'm surprised you remembered to book the room."
Yeah. Sorry, wait, I opened the door.
Yeah.
Right, you both open the door now, and
I'm not even cautious to say.
Yeah, just.
all right, you guys walk on into the room. It's a fine room. It has a single bed. It's got like a little bit of like a table and a chair. Any sort of a dresser of sorts. Actually, kind of a nice rug. Center the bed is lovely. There's a mirror for one to look at themselves if needed. There's a window that looks out onto the street of the Emerald Square. So, anything else you guys do while in this room?
Pine will just take a seat and just kind of, if there's no chair that's turned towards the door, he will turn the chair towards the door and just be looking at it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check my inventory.
Sure. After about
also check my my infusion bag of holding.
Yeah. You check it out. It's a bag that holds many things, or can eventually.
Right.
So after about 5 minutes or so, the door starts to creak open, and slowly this hooded individual, muffled clanking, wanders in, kind of comes inside, looks out, then turns back around, looks down the hallway, and slowly closes the door and locks it from the inside, and stares at the two of you. I'm glad you could make it. So, now that we have this meeting space in private, and one sec, he goes over to like the window, looks out. It's like, good. Juniper's keeping watch. All right. Closes like the shades. Oh, damn it, it's too dark. Opens them back up, like rummages for a candle. Lights the candle real quick, puts it on the table, then closes the blinds again. It's like, all right, now that we're here meeting in secret, I need to know, can I trust the two of you completely?
You know what? Just for the sake of it, just because I want to be sure, I'm just going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and cast Detect Magic.
Alright. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull out my bag of holding like this little device that's kind of like a radar sonar kind of thing, and just pour like my magic inside of it and activate it.
Okay. You watch as it kind of starts to go, and you look at it, and you can see sort of two, like, decently sized, like, as it like blinks around. It doesn't make any noise, but it just like the things that are magic sort of like kind of glow with like a certain amount of magical power. So you see, as you put it in the sort of center, you see where you, Alex, and Pine show up on the on your radar. It's like, fairly decent magical glows, nothing like insane. As you see where it kind of scans over where Edmund is sitting, nothing. No magic whatsoever.
Okay.
And as Alex does that, Pine goes, I don't know, can you? And he casts Disguise Self on himself with his racial trait to make himself look like one of the most menacing, like, mercenary thug guys with shaved head, scars, and just beaten to hell. And just kind of stands up and, like, tries to loom over Sir Bertrand, or Syr Edmund.
Syr Edmund?
Are you going somewhere with this?
Give me an intimidation check. Give me a moment. I'm gonna maybe make
That's a 17.
A 17. Okay, I'm going to make an opposed roll against that. Okay, all right. He has a charisma of +2, so I need to roll like a 15 or higher to make him not feel something about what just happened here. You kind of like see him sitting there staring at you, just magically change your appearance to who knows if this is your real form or not. And you just see him just kind of like, you start to hear a rattling as his body starts to shake from the armor. It says, of course not! Of course I'm not afraid of you! And I can totally... I'm incredibly trustworthy. What did you even ask me again?
And, like, as he's laughing, he totally, like, drops him. Like, it's been a while since I've been able to pull a joke. You just seemed so easy. I'm sorry, Edmund. Yes, you can absolutely trust us.
I will admit, Edmund, I've not seen the side of him yet, so I'm... That kind of surprised me.
Yes. I don't get to see much magic. This is your actual face, or was the one before you? I'm very confused.
This is the actual face.
Okay. All right. It's just I am privy to some magic. There are still some things that I don't know quite enough about. But
I'm just gonna look at my radar again. It's like, yeah, sure. Yeah,
still nothing.
And put it away.
Still nothing on him.
I know.
So, here's the thing. I believe that this incident of the Duke's son and his wife and their son was not mere coincidence. It wasn't just a happenstance that they just happened to encounter bandits on the road and be killed. But I think there is something at play here within the Green Duchy, and I think somebody within the castle is trying to remove our Duke's line of succession from this duchy so that someone else can take over. Now, who or what, I'm not quite sure, but I believe that something like this is happening here. And the fact that that young Siegfried is still alive, but hasn't been brought back as proof of this, makes me wonder if he's being kept away for his own protection, or, well, yeah, that, and I don't really know anything else, but, so, that's what I think is going on. Like, plague aside, which is, I'm glad that things are being done to try and fix it, but I believe, since the loss of the Duke's son, the Duke's family, that someone those bandits set them up, and has been trying to slowly gain control of the duchy for their own nefarious reasons. But I don't really have proof, but that's what I think is going on.
So, you have an inkling, a suspicion, and no proof of any of it?
No.
So we're just working on assumptions here.
Yes, but the fact that Siegfried is alive and has not been brought forth to prove that he's alive must be for a reason. And the fact that you have this ring to show that you got from him to show that he's alive makes me think that maybe he's in hiding until the time is right to show himself up again when he's maybe stronger or something. I don't know. I've read, I've read stories like this is a thing that happens, like a lost ruler thought missing comes back to reclaim the kingdom, and this feels like that, and, well, I don't know. I've always been kind of fascinated by those stories, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at things that I want to be there that aren't actually there.
Alex just looks at him. While not saying anything, he's like, I can relate to that. Just like the whole radio stories.
As can I. I have one question. When were they killed? How long ago?
About, 2-3 years ago?
Alright, I was just wondering if there was any strange Fey things going on of why Siegfried was just a child, if it was longer ago. Don't know if he would have aged differently while he was out in the Grey Wilds.
Wait. So, when you mentioned that you got the ring from Siegfried, he wasn't a toddler?
No, he...
How old did he seem? I can't... Like, he was...
He seemed about, 12, maybe 13.
12.
Okay, so like a preteen.
Yeah, like almost teenager.
Early double digits.
How old was he when they left?
2?
Well, then I redact that what I had said before. It looks like there were some Fey magic going on, which makes sense. He seemed a little Fey touched when we met him.
I'll say this, during the time, Alex is like doing the math here. I'm like, okay, so he was gone for 2 years, and he had like 2 months. He was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Alex, I can stop you there. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Nothing in the Fey does.
DM sidebar? Actual math on that? Well,
I know.
Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too hard.
Well, I know, but that's my character. He's gonna...
I know. This is me talking to the audience. I'm like, don't think too hard about it. Don't think too hard about it. And back in. So I have read stories about individuals finding themselves in sort of a fairy-like world and coming back and it being like years down the road. Oh my gosh. So maybe that is what's happening. Maybe that is what's going on. Maybe he wasn't killed, obviously, because you met him. Then he was maybe spirited away by some sort of fantastical entity to train him to one day to reclaim his birthright and set the world back. And maybe, if he comes back, this plague will end. 'Cause, well, but,
What? It sounds like we could hit two birds with one stone.
possibly.
This sounds perfect. Too perfect, but they're perfect nonetheless.
The only problem now is you two would like to help the Duke with this plague problem. But I worry coming right out and saying your grandson is alive.
Might kill him with surprise.
Yes, he is getting rather old, but also that might put a target on your backs for whoever I think might be, trying to unravel the dukedom from within.
Well, in terms of that, then what suspicions do you have? Do you have any potential suspects?
The only two suspects I could believe, or that I could think would have any interest in, or at least the ones who are closest to the Duke right now, His Grace, would either be his religious advisor or his wizard advisor, as they are the closest in contact with the Duke and generally advise him on all sorts of things and at least have a knowledge of what goes on and around the dukedom, the duchy. So,
Rain this down.
Yes, newts. Taking newts.
taking the newts.
God damn it. Just wrote Duke religious or magic advisor. Sus? Question mark?
One of these two advisors feeling real sus right now.
Right now.
Oh God. So, it's like, yes, their names are, the religious advisor is Father Carth Preston,
Okay.
and the wizard advisor is Roma Owl Eye.
Okay.
So, while I don't have any concrete evidence as to if it even is one of them, or both of them, or even maybe just someone else in the castle, that's sort of the only potential lead I have is the two of them. If only my sister were here. She'd probably be able to figure this all out. But she's off in the Silver Capital right now.
Who's your sister? What is her line?
Oh, my sister, Captain Oleana Brightblade, she's off at the Silver Capital right now in a meeting with the Sovereign about defense measures and things, as she is sort of the one of the captains of the guard. Or captain, more like commander, honestly. She should be up there. So she's away, but she was also thinking that something was going on, but she's been unfortunately pulled away from home right now.
Who pulled her away?
Well, Sovereign Daedalus, because they required all of the captains to come to the Silver Capital for a meeting of sorts for safety. Then
Okay.
if the Sovereign tells you to come to the capital, I mean, you have to go.
True. Well, I have somewhat of an idea. My guess...
Dude, please.
Well, I assume we can't really meet the Duke in person right now, right?
I could easily set up a meeting at least and, introduce you to the Duke and even the advisors who are generally with him at every meeting, at least to show your interest in helping curb this plague. I know any help they might want would be appreciated, but, I mean, he is not in the best health at the moment.
That's...
Even with the best medicines and even magical healing that the priest is offering, or that Father Preston has been offering. No magic can really deter old age, or failing health from old age, I suppose.
I'm just debating now. Should we just do it, like, take care of the plague without the recommendation of the Duke, or should we get the Duke's permission?
I believe it might be wiser to not only get the Duke's permission, but I would not doubt... I know Roma Owl Eyes has definitely been sort of on the forefront of trying to ascertain the nature of the plague, so she might have some sort of, extra knowledge that might be helpful to you too.
Alright. So, I think my advice is that, well, this is just my advice. We should go there to at least get permission to help out with the plague. We don't mention anything yet, till we at least earn their trust. At the most. Maybe at least when we meet the Duke, we can figure out, like, from these suspects, maybe even see if there's any other suspects. And also, we figured that out, and when we handle the plague, see if we can find any clues, because this is just a far cry from myself, but maybe the person who's responsible for the Duke's bad health is also causing the plague.
What do you mean the Duke's bad health? I mean, he's just old. He's...
True.
I mean, has there been no thought of the Duke's bad health and the plague
I mean, well,
being
yes.
coinciding?
I do know that there's been rumors and suspicions that the failing health of the Duke is the cause of this plague, and that why maybe if his son were to come, or his grandson were to come back, and it's sort of that idea that this family is like connected to the land in a sort of way, and that if the family isn't healthy, the land isn't healthy, and maybe vice versa. So yes, maybe, yes, I mean, I would hope curing the plague might, at least make the Duke not as sick in his old age, but
at the very least, less stress.
I mean,
less stress, I guess.
Yes, but I mean, old age and the time is not merciful. So.
Alright, so what do you think, Pine, about my plan? Meet the Duke himself?
Meet the Duke himself and get permission on trying to find a answer to this plague? I think that's a good place to start.
Alright. So
maybe we can get some information if we're able to talk to his advisors as well, get an idea and standing on where they are.
That sounds good to me. Well, I shall head back to the castle this evening, and tomorrow morning set up a meeting for me to come, for you to meet the Duke and his advisors. I shall come for you personally, with the invitation to the castle. If someone else comes, know that something might be afoot.
Got it. So, only expect you.
Yes. All right. Well.
There's one question that I forgot to ask.
Oh, yes, of course. What?
How do we know we can trust you, Edmund? We said you could trust us.
Oh. That's a good point.
As you look cool dropping the pencil.
As I just completely dropped my pencil.
How can you trust me? Well?
I don't like your hesitation, Edmund.
I'm a knight, and knights are meant to be trustworthy, and if I'm not a trustworthy knight, then I shouldn't be a knight at all. So, if you can't trust me, or if I have in any way failed to gain your trust, then I shall renounce my knighthood right here and now.
No, that's fair enough. I guess we can trust you.
Oh, thank goodness. So, I shall see you on the morrow.
Quick.
And yes, please, keep that ring as safe and secure as you can, and don't talk to anyone about what it is we talked about this evening. Unless it's Juniper, then it's okay.
No problem. I'll hold on to it. I will not give it away.
Wonderful. All right. I shall see you tomorrow. As he flips the hood back, goes and opens the door, looks around to like the hallway sides, and then goes off.
Oh crap, I forgot to teach him inconspicuous.
Yeah, unfortunate.
So, now that you have learned that there is supposedly, while no real evidence, that there might be a plot to overthrow, kind of, or just end the line of the Green Duke of this duchy, what do you got? Anything particular you guys like to do in this evening as you get ready for the day tomorrow?
Let me see something.
Yes, go over your notes, your inventory, your anything you think might be, I don't know, useful.
I'm trying to remember if I can only do using this efficient replicate a particular magic item. I'm just making sure for like my replicate magic item that I'm using from my bag.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use it multiple times, or can it only be for like one?
That's a good question. I think, does it not give you a number of how many magical items you can have like made at a time from that.
Using this infusion, you replicate a particular magic item. You can learn this infusion multiple times. Each time you do so, choose a magic item that you can make with it. Picking from the replicable items table.
Okay. All right. I got the the key phrase there is that you can choose this invocation or this infusion multiple times. So you have this one infusion. Yeah. What are your other infusions?
My other infusion, I think I can only know 2 right now.
And how many can you have active?
Hang on.
I think you can know 4 and have 2 active. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Infusion's known for, infused items too. But is that that's only for attunements, isn't it? Or is that? Oh, that's not.
No, that's the things that you do with this infusion thing. So technically, out of your 4 known ones, you could just have this magical item replication like as your 4 infusions known, but you can only have 2 replicated magic items up at a time. Okay. So currently one of your infused items right now is this bag that's acting as a bag of holding. So your other infusion that's currently active, I don't know what that is for you or if you have decided. So if you wanted it to be 2 of your known infusions, or I'm still learning the vocab for the artificer. If you want to have 2 active replicated items, that's fine by me. But if you were to try and switch out your infusion to like a different thing, like to give you an extra bonus for whatever the other infusions are, you would have to like end the magical properties on one of your magic items, if that sort of makes sense.
I'll just keep the bag of holding then.
Okay, because you can have 2 things, so I don't know what one of your other
my other
infusion or what I need to get the vocab right. So, other than that, is there anything else you guys would like to do prior to your meeting with the Duke tomorrow?
I think that's it.
Okay. Anything, Pine will just go back into his room and kind of just polish up his armor and weapons just to make them kind of nice and shiny.
Okay.
Make them look good.
Well, why don't we, as you guys head off to bed, with this new knowledge that you'll be meeting the Duke tomorrow to hopefully help with the plague that has been ravaging the farms of the duchy, you sleep well. And you wake up the next morning to the bright sound of various farm animal cock-a-doodle-doos, and await the time where Syr Edmund Brightblade comes and brings you to the Duke's castle. But before that happens, let's take a little break. Hi, folks. Welcome to the mid-break of this episode of our podcast. Definitely got some things going on within the realm of the Rainbow Coast. I also want to say, stay with us, hopefully till the end, because I got some information to share with you. All right, let's get back to the podcast. And we're back. Hi, folks. All right, so the 2 of you have woken up. You've had, I'd say, probably a small meal from the sort of dining hall-esque area of the Mossy Rook. And roughly about 10 o'clock or so, you see walking through the door in all of his shiny armor, Syr Edmund Brightblade. And he says, "Hello and well met, friends. Good news. We can get you to the Duke's castle, and we can have a meeting with him. And we can talk about your involvement with helping deal with the plague. So, if you would follow me, I've brought 2 horses that it can be an easier, faster trip up, and we can get you right inside. So, are you ready?"
Can I see the horse that he rode with? Or rode it on?
Well, I mean, Juniper is always his horse.
Right. I'm just making sure that if it is Juniper,
right? Yes.
It's nice.
This is not someone in disguise as
Make an
Edmund.
Insight check if you want to be so uncertain about the things I tell you.
Hell, I could ask his horse if I wanted to.
You could. I'm surprised you haven't yet.
It's 15. Oh, I've been very tempted.
Uh-huh. Yes, it is Edmund Brightblade, Syr Edmund Brightblade, and his horse Juniper. The other two horses, he lets you know, are Periwinkle and Rosebud.
I call Rosebud.
Okay.
Guess I get Periwinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Up we go.
So. Sorry, there's just cat hair everywhere now. So, you head on up towards, what?
I was going to say that, so you're not going to talk to Juniper?
No.
Okay.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, you head on up, riding through Emerald Square and up to Sage Hill, which is the location of the Green Duke's castle, and the various surrounding winter homes that the far-off farmers come to and live in during the winter seasons. Various different like houses, just like of all sorts, relatively similar, but just like pretty close together, empty. But you do see various individuals kind of moving in and out of them that seem to be in Neville. Don't play with the cords, please. Come on, bud. Stop. I know you're a cat, and cats will cat. Oh, come on, bud. Nope. Stop. Bud. Go out of the bed. Thank you.
Technical casualties.
Yes, technical casualties. Okay, where was I? Yes. So you do see all the winter homes for all the like farmers who live farther away from the main town, and you do see some individuals kind of moving in and around, and you see that they're kind of dressed up in sort of maid isn't exactly, but they're essentially dressed as if they were like people who do cleaning, as they just kind of moving throughout, seemingly to keep these places nice and clean, so they're like always sort of ready. Neville, stop it. This little boy, I swear.
There's a housekeeper chasing a cat.
Yes. So yeah, do you see one of the house the housekeeping cleaners like chasing the cat away, or just a couple birds like out of the attic of one. But eventually you make your way to the castle, which is very much that classic sort of Germanic Romanian style of high towers and walls and sort of just like beautiful Gothic-esque architecture. It's a stunning sight, honestly. Mm-hmm. And it does have flags of the heraldry, the two crossed cornucopias overflowing with all sorts of produce. So you make your way in. The gate is opened up as Syr Edmund Brightblade announces himself. Various groups of the Rainbow Guard, specifically the Green Rainbow Guard, the ones with to represent that they work here, are stationed at the Green Duchy, with the more pronounced green stripe on their rainbow pants and sleeves, are doing their guard duty, their watch, going through drills and things. Some are just lounging as they relax, not on duty or off duty at the moment. And you head on your way. Some individuals take the horses from you, and Syr Edmund says, "All right, you two, follow me." And you head on in, through the sort of into the grand hall area, where the Green Duke, His Grace Cedric Danforth Pendragon, sits upon a throne of similar design of like, it's got like, it almost looks like trees are made, like his throne is made from like trees and such, and like ends in just various branches and things, with like, it looks like various bits of like carved fruit and other vegetation just like exude from his throne. But in front of his throne is this very large table for meeting and talking, because it's not like one of those like the throne and then you're down here and you talk up to him, but no, there's like the throne is there and then there's this table to bring yourself up to there. And next to him on his left is who you imagine is the wizard advisor, Roma Owl Eye. While it's hard to tell that she's a woman because of her very like large like cloak that covers her whole body, and also because she's wearing an owl mask. And you see her staff that she's kind of leaning on has a sort of crooked shape to it where a bird, like a sort of bird perch for any sort of bird to land in, which you actually see a rather large, like, great horned owl sitting on top of her staff, and then a smaller sort of younger what's the smallest of, like, what's a smaller owl? Is there like a dwarf owl, Ryan? Or like a pygmy owl or something?
Got it. Oh, when I think of small owls, all I can think about are the burrowing owls, but
I know, but that's not gonna be within this region of sort of deciduous forests and things. Or this sort of wooded area. Or maybe they could be. But
there's literally one called an elf owl.
An elf owl? Perfect. There's a little elf owl sitting on her opposite shoulder that she's leaning on the staff with. And you can tell, like, the great horned owl is very much just, like, watching you guys enter, while the elf owl is just kind of, like, doing other, like, looking around at other things. To the right is the person you can only imagine as, you know, Father Karth Preston, a tall, light-haired, sort of pencil-thin man, but you can see wears platinum-colored, or various pieces of his robe is made of platinum colors, and you can see the symbol of Bahamut, specifically the Platinum Order of Bahamut, the House of Bahamut. The one, instead of holding a plowshare, is holding the sword in the hand. And you see that he kind of wears this sort of headdress where two dragon wings kind of fold up, and in between those is a platinum sword that is pointing down towards the top of his head, sort of like a sword of Damascus, as this sort of sword of justice always present. I will also say, going back to Roma, you do notice that she is wearing it almost looks like, what is it an orrery? Where you see, like, various planets and like, constant, like, the circular things, it kind of rotates. Is that what it's called?
What'd you call it, an ovary?
No, not an ovary. No, that is the female reproductive organ.
Right.
No, orrery. It's like, I think that's like, or it's...
Yeah, it's got like a bunch of... Yeah, that's basically what you're talking about.
How do you spell that?
Okay.
Orrery.
Yeah. I think that's about right. Essentially, like, she has sort of also this amulet, or, this amulet around her neck that's actually coming out of her, like, cloak sort of look, that is like this orrery, but in the center is this opal, to show that she is a representative of the Opal Observatory, which is the sort of academy of wizardry high into the north, in the Porcelain Tundra, located in Salt Town, which is where, like, all wizards kind of go to study, or at least to, like, you know, continue high levels of study, and various the advisors of all the different dukes kind of the wizard advisors all kind of come from there. So she is a representative of the Opal Observatory and such, whereas Father Preston is the religious advisor, specifically through the Justice sect of the Platinum Order, the Justice sect of the House of Bahamut. So, once you guys are ready, after you've written all that down, and you are entered in, you see the owl kind of staring you down, the great horned owl and the little elf owl looking all over the place. You can see the sort of pensive look of Father Preston just kind of staring, watching you, quietly observing. And in the center, I should say, is the Duke of the Green Duchy, His Grace Cedric Danforth Pendragon. Old, white-haired man. You can see, like, big, full white beard, sort of long-ish white hair to the side. relatively in some light furs, and a green tunic of sorts. You can see that while he is old, like he's probably within his like maybe late 70s, early 80s or so, there is like a sharpness to his eyes. He kind of watches you, even though you can kind of see that he's kind of breathing a little heavier, even though he's kind of trying not to reveal it to you as easily. But you can definitely see that this man in his youth was probably quite an impressive individual. So, as you enter in, Syr Edmund's like, Your Grace, Duke of the Green Duchy, and the people of Greenfield, His Grace, Cedric Danforth Pendragon, I present to you these two individuals who have heard of our plight and are very interested in helping discover and defeat the unfortunate plague that has fallen upon our farms. I present to you Alex Arcadis and Pine Deciduery.
I just like give him a little bow.
You kind of see Cedric Danforth Pendragon just kind of nod. Says,
And
what?
Can I say, as I bow, can I use a use of divine sense
Yeah.
to see if there's any? And I don't know if you also wanted to add Fae to this. I don't know if we talked about this.
Yeah.
But if I was able to,
I'll say you can definitely add Fae to this, given your history growing up and your own little bit of mix of that in there.
So I can sense the location of any celestial, fiend, undead, or Fae, any consecrated or desecrated place or object within 60 feet.
Gotcha.
Do I get any sense of that?
So, as you bow down, kind of activate it, and look back up, the first thing that sticks to you is that the little elf owl on Roma's shoulder definitely brings off a little bit of the celestial energy. You feel like this owl is definitely a full-on sort of magical familiar of sorts. The great horned owl, surprisingly enough, does not give off any of that sort of magical energy. Neither celestial, fae, or fiend, or undead, I should add. You do get a slight, very slight essence of fae magic emanating from the Duke himself. It's very slight, though. It's not as overpoweringly noticeable as, say, like the elf owl familiar. And as for Father Preston, you're not getting any of that from him.
Okay.
I mean, there might be like a little bit of celestial. No, nothing from him. He's not a celestial or anything in that sort of sense. He's just a human, just like the wizard. So that is what you note. And as you guys kind of do your bow, the Duke himself says, I thank you for coming to the aid of my people. It's definitely been unfortunate what has been going on in our farms, given what our farms mean to our home. With that said, while we would definitely appreciate your help in whatever knowledge you might have regarding the plague, there might be something a bit more immediately pressing that I might require your aid with. And as he says that, you kind of see Syr Edmund Brightblade kind of go, a more immediate threat, Your Grace. And with that, you see Father Preston step forward and is like, yes, there has been talk and sightings of some sort of burrowing monster to the farm north of Greenfields. Our largest farm is apparently in the sight of some sort of burrowing creature, some sort of monster on its way that our scouts have noticed, and it seems will be upon our northern farm in a matter of days. And you see,
Edmund.
the Duke is like, yes, so, you seem, from, I can tell by the look of you, rather, pardon me, must be capable of arm or fighters, warriors of some sort, given your appearances, or at least your equipment.
That's very safe to say. Any other information about this burrowing creature, or your scouts not been able to identify it as?
No, unfortunately, not many of our scouts that have been able to return to us, or at least get a message out, have been able to survive whatever sort of creature this thing is. All we know is that it is a large creature that seems to burrow under the ground, and apparently has a bit of a voracious appetite and will pull things underground to eat, and it doesn't seem to have any preference as to what it is that it devours. Syr Edmund Brightblade was like, Your Grace, I am sorry that I was not privy to this information. If I had known, I would have headed out immediately with a squad of guards to deal with this unfortunate disaster. It's like, and he kind of raises, and the Duke raises his hands like, Syr Edmund, I know you would. But it's good to know that we have some extra help here now with these two individuals, and it might be a good way for them to, no offense, but prove yourself to the Duchy, as I don't quite know the capabilities of either of you two, and I think it would, at least from what my advisors have said, might give me a better insight into your character if you are willing to help us with this unfortunate monster sighting.
Absolutely. We'd be more than happy to help.
Yep, seems fair.
That's good.
We are no strangers in proving ourselves.
That's good to know. You will, of course, given this is outside of your initial offer, will be compensated upon dealing with this creature. To what extent I still need to work out, but it is better that you head off with all due haste, as it seems a day or two might not be as accurate as we think it might be. It's possible the creature could be there even sooner. So, Syr Edmund, you may bring with you about 20 men or so, should be enough to help deal with this matter as extra help in case. I would not wish sending these two individual men on a solo suicide mission, just the two of them. I'd imagine you'd wish to be of help as well. Of course, Your Grace, 20 men should be plenty enough to deal with some sort of burrowing creature. Shouldn't be that much of a hassle. I agree. Well, you may make whatever preparations you can and head out as soon as possible. And if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I must retire. My old age keeps me from having meetings that last too long. You understand.
Of course, Your Grace. And give a bow.
Understood.
Thank you. And the Duke kind of leans back and just kind of breathes heavily. And you see Father Preston's like, The justice of Bahamut be on you both. Please give a swift death to this monster that would threaten our people. Your Grace, I shall be preparing your medicine very soon. Thank you.
Who said that?
Father Preston said he was preparing the medicine to just kind of
Okay.
Help. And you kind of see Roma Owleye just kind of still watching. She hasn't said anything, but she's been very... The owl, the great horned owl, has very much been, like, keeping a look about as things have been going on. So that is sort of what has been going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, anything you guys like to do before you apparently get up a regiment of roughly 20 men and Syr Edmund Brightblade and head off to the northernmost farm to figure out exactly what sort of creature is on its way to cause some serious damage?
Well, I don't know about you. Like, and are we in any form of private place?
At the moment, no. You guys at least are walking out of the Great Hall right now, and Syr Edmund kind of turns to you. Right. Well, it seems we have a chance for you to prove yourself and gain some sort of loyalty with the Duke. So, I'm going to wrestle up 20 of the best men that I know, and I'll get up horses and I'll meet you at the front gate, and we'll head up north to the farm and deal with this as quickly as we can. We should be able to get there within a day and a half ride if we ride hard and use some of the shortcuts I know. So, I'll see you soon. So he goes off and does that. But you could make a perception check to find a little hideaway spot for you to, if you want to just to talk.
Sure. 13.
13? You would think that maybe the best place for you to go talk, as it doesn't have a lot of people around, would probably be the horse stables.
Mm-hmm.
So you can...
But the horses can talk.
If you want to head over in that direction, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
As you can see, at least all sorts of different, like a bunch of different horses are there, but you also see Juniper, Periwinkle, and Rosebud in the stable as well.
So is Juniper in her own stable?
Oh, yeah.
Like her own pen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you gonna do it?
No, I'm gonna have Alex follow.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, like, get us both into Juniper's stall.
Okay.
Close the door, and I'm gonna say, all right, Alex, like, kneel down. Also, just quick note, these are beeping to tell me that they are low, so.
Oh, okay.
So I am going to cast Speak with Animals, and I turn to Juniper and say, all right, can we trust you, Juniper? Are you in this with us to be able to keep secrets that we are of what we're doing?
I'm trying to remember. Did you talk to animals before?
I tried talking to Steam Racer.
Right, besides Steam Racer. I figured that would work, but outside of that.
Outside of actually being able to need the spell to talk to animals, no.
Okay, and he's speaking human, Juniper's going to speak horse. Like this.
Yes, so only Pine and Juniper are going to be able to understand each other. You will not be able to understand.
Okay.
So you ask that, and you see the Juniper kind of looks at you with those big, wide horse eyes, and she kind of looks to the left or the right, looks to the left, kind of leans down, and is like, "Sugar, I'm the horse of a great knight, and if you can't trust me, then I will lay down my knighthood and not be who I am." If that makes sense. That might not have made sense. Either way, yes, you can trust me.
I fully understand what you mean.
Pine, did you just talk to the horse?
Alex, give me a second. And can you be sure that any of the other horses will be able to keep the secrets as well? Or if they happen to be listening in, and just make sure this is all between us.
Oh, honey. All of the horses here, we're good at keeping secrets. The amount of things that we have seen some of these guardsmen do and say, you wouldn't want to know.
Okay. Well, we might, since, we're in the middle of an investigation. But that's besides the point.
Right. Well, in regards to that, nothing that I have heard that I've spoke at least with Rosebud and Periwinkle about anything these guards might know about, the investigation that's going on.
Right. Okay. So I turn to Alex. All right. We're good.
I'm just looking at it like, I think Edmund's rubbing off on you.
No, well, he's rubbing off on me. His horse is practically like him. But anyway, down to the brass tacks. What I brought you here. suspicions. Of course, we weren't able to really get a read on Roma. She didn't say anything, though she does
has that owl mask too. So
right. But I'll give you a little information.
Okay.
Her small owl is actually her familiar. There's a bit of celestial energy coming from it.
Did it look negative at all?
No.
Or
I mean,
okay.
It was just, in terms of what it is, it's a celestial.
Okay. What else?
And then in addition to that, there's a slight fey magic coming from the Duke. Probably very, very similar to the same feeling I got from Siegfried. So, if there's any suspicion that those two might not be connected, I feel very strongly that they are.
Okay, then.
And the other thing, I am very suspicious of the father.
I am too. Other than the fact that we heard that he was gonna get the Duke his medicine, right? Okay. So yeah, I'm a little curious about that, as well as the medicine thing.
Right. Now, this is very little to go on right now, so at least we understand that there's something a little suspicious about the father. And by the father, I mean the priest. Not by the father, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. That I understand.
Okay.
Alright, but I'm gonna but still we should keep the wizard, why did I forget the name already?
Roma?
Even though I'm just saying, since we don't know she didn't say anything, don't know much about, keep it
Yes.
back of our minds.
Right.
Or at least don't keep it. I can't speak today either.
At least for right now, my suspicions are that Roma, even though she has not said anything, I can't tell any motive that she might have with taking the Duke and his family out of the picture. The father, though,
Okay.
There's been a lot of insignias of the Platinum Dragon around here. Now, not saying that Bahamut is a bad god. I know he stands for a lot of good things.
I've read that.
But the father might not be one to like that there's a lot of fey magic coming from this family. That could be a source of some contempt.
You think there's some kind of I don't want to say political, but a religious struggle,
I would dare say that it could equally be both. Well, that's at least all we got to go on. Those are just suspicions and just a little bit of information we have.
I think we should at least keep an eye out during this event as well. While I was hoping to pay more attention to Plague, we should probably take this into consideration.
Right.
Because I want this DM this to you. Did the religious leader? He was the one who brought the mission up, right?
See, and that was the other thing. That was really suspicious. That he was the one trying to take us away from the plague.
No, it was not. It was not Father Preston.
He was the one who brought up that was our thing that we were going to go do.
No, that was yes, he was. Yeah, no, he was because yes, the Duke had mentioned that's something more pressing, and then I think it was Father Preston. Wow, I've already forgotten.
We haven't.
Good. Yes, Father Preston was the one kind of giving you the letting you
so
know
the Duke
something.
Yeah, so the Duke mentioned there was something more urgent, and Father Preston mentioned
he elaborated
on
all
bit
of
more
it.
specifics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I guess we should just keep a watchful eye out during this mission as well.
Right.
In the meantime, we should also probably tell, not the Dwarven King. I'm looking through my notes, just the people we rode in here, Riff.
The steam hoofs?
Yeah, we should at least mention where we're going.
Well, I mean, they've known us to go off for a little bit. I mean,
if you know what, why don't we do a little bit of saying you did that prior to you guys actually meeting up with
Edmund and
with
Duke.
Syr Edmund. Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
We'll say that retroactively you guys already did that. We don't have to worry about going back and doing that now.
Okay.
So,
Alright. Okay. So we got a plan. Do you need to prep anything beforehand?
Not anything that I can think of. I'm pretty set.
Alright, so am I, because I'm ready to try out this new shield of mine.
And me, my sword, because God, we've been on the road a while.
Yep.
All right. Well, after a bit of time, 20 other Rainbow Guard suit up, get on some horses. You each get onto your horse that Syr Edmund Brightblade gave you. He gets Juniper.
I get periwinkle.
And he says, "All right, men, we ride north to defend our farms. Huzzah!" And so the three of you and 20 other Rainbow Guard start riding north, riding hard to defend the northernmost and largest farm in all of Greenfields. So with that, we will end this session today, and next session, you guys are going to fight a monster of some sorts. What could it be?
What could it
All right. And thank you all who are listening for joining us again on this episode, and we'll see you all next time. Bye. Well, that concludes this 6th episode of our podcast. I hope you're just as excited as I am to see what sort of suspense awaits our players. Also, I'm happy to let you know that we have an email that you can send emails to us, like words of encouragement, advice, or how we don't play D&D like you do. You can email us at awipdndpodmail@gmail.com. That's awipdndpodmail@gmail.com. Once again, that's awipdndpodmail@gmail.com. Very excited to read whatever you send our way. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at awipdndpod, similarly spelled AWIPDNDPOD. And now that we are also on more podcasting sites, make sure to give us a like, review, or both. Last but not least, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to my brothers for joining in this experiment. And an extra special thank you to my wife, Allie, for her constant support and advice. I have been Eric, and I hope you continue along with us on this adventure, both real and imaginary. Ta-ta for now.
There's the boy.
Hello, boy. Welcome in my lap. Hi, buddy. Oh, yeah, purry boy. Sweet, sweet boy. Alright, oh man, you gotta clip your toenails, my bud. They're so sharp. Yeah, bud. Maybe get some of that purr ASMR.